In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a strut and spring assembly on your Honda Pilot. Using a 19mm socket, remove the 5 lug nuts. Remove the wheel. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to remove the 2 bolts for the ABS bracket. Second one is located on the back of this bracket. Remove that bolt. Using a 12mm socket, remove the bolt for the brake line bracket. Using a 17mm wrench to hold the stud of the sway bar link, we're going to use a 17mm socket to remove the nut. And remove the sway bar link out of the strut. Using a 22mm socket and a 24mm wrench, we're going to hold the nut and remove the bolt. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Push on the top of the brake rotor and you'll find that the knuckle wiggles. Do this and remove the 2 bolts. Using a pry bar, we're going to pry on the knuckle. We're going to pull it forward out of the strut. When you do this, make sure there's no tension on any of your lines, the brake hose, or the ABS wire. Using a flat blade screwdriver, there's going to be 3 caps on the top of the cowl. They're going to have little slots that you are able to pry up on and remove the 3 caps. Under these 3 holes, there should be 14mm bolts. Go around and loosen these bolts, but don't fully remove them yet. We're going to put our fingers under this black cowl and we're going to pull up, and this will release the clips. And that'll give us room to be able to reach in and grab all of our nuts and access the top of the strut. Continue removing the nuts and totally remove them. When you're on your last one, be sure you have a hand on the strut because it will just fall out. There's one more. While removing the last nut, I'm going to grab the strut and push up. Thread the nut off. And then we're going to pull the strut out of the wheel well. We're going to let the strut down. Watch your hoses and wires while you do this. We're going to pull the top out first and remove the strut from the car. We're going to install the strut into the car. It's going to go bottom in first through your 2 cables. And we're going to push it up towards the top and seat the top hat into the strut tower. Push the strut up into the strut tower. Then we're going to get our nuts started. As I'm putting these nuts in, I'm holding the strut up. And once I get all 3 threaded on, I'll let go. Using a 15mm socket, snug down the nuts. Make these nuts nice and snug, and then once the vehicle has the weight of it on the wheel, we'll go ahead and torque them. Push the knuckle up. Line up the bolt holes on the knuckle and get your bolts started. I recommend doing the bottom bolt first on the knuckle. Makes it easier. You can then put one hand on the face of the rotor, push, and then insert your bolt. Get the nuts started. Snug down the bolts. Torque the two knuckle bolts to 116 foot-pounds. Install the sway bar link into the strut and get the nut started. Using a 17mm wrench to hold the back, we're going to snug down the nut. Install the 10mm bolt for the ABS bracket. And there will be one more on the strut. Once the bolts are started, snug them down. Install the bolt for the brake line bracket to the strut. Get it started and snug it down. Install the wheel. Get the 5 lug nuts started. Snug them down. Torque your wheels to 80 foot-pounds in a star pattern. Once you're done with this job, take your car to a local shop and have them do an alignment. Torque the top strut nuts to 43 foot-pounds. We had a block of wood in there just to keep this open. Put it back down. Grab your weather stripping, and these are going to be your clips. We're going to feed them into the hole and clip them into place. Go down the line for any of them that popped out. Install the black caps. There's a hinge on one side. We're going to put that against the plastic, and then swivel down and click it into place. And you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.